Hello, Ambassador. This is Chris Forbeny, Chris Ano, reaching out to you. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing very well, Chris. I hope you have settled in your new place.
Well, I'm trying to settle. It's not that easy to settle in a new location. It's like starting life all together again.
You're right.
So, Ambassador, I'm reaching out to you because of the struggle that we have ongoing. Recently, I don't know whether you listened to Dr. Simon Monzu coming out and stating categorically that he doesn't see the chances of the Southern Cameroons getting independence from the United Nations, explaining it on the grounds that the United Nations has never gone back to rectify an error they made. You traveled with Monzu and others to the United Nations to have them come back to Cameroon and rectify the errors they made. Do you still hold that position that we can still rely on the United Nations to restore the independence of the Southern Cameroons?
Yes, I do rely on the on the basic principle that if we work together as a people and get United Nations to understand that we cannot have our interests and well-being with La Republique, mostly because of the errors that were committed, and that we have no legal links with them whatsoever. If we work like one person, the United Nations will listen. The United Nations is not hard-hearted. The United Nations watches what the people who want a change are and what they want to do and how they are doing it. But they do not believe that you can today have one leader come and say, here I am, Chris Forbeny, and tomorrow they come again and change. It's not Chris Forbeny, it's Ambassador Fossung. They don't like that. They think that nations that require their freedom and want to be on their own should be mature enough to be able to to work with other nations by simple political maturity. You can have the people keep changing and making noises, different people and so on. They will never want to listen to such things.
And
That's the United Nations.
What do you actually mean by that? Because, everybody knows leaders grow old and transit to maybe because of age or change of opinion, like we're seeing with Monzu. In the case of Monzu, how can people like that still represent us at the United Nations when we know they no longer believe in our sovereignty?
We're even mentioning Monzu because we do not observe and watch our leaders. I took Monzu to the United Nations with the others. I spent my money and I took them there. We got to the Secretariat on the 1st of June, 1995. By September of that same year, Monzu got a job representing the United Nations. And nobody could get a job like that without the president of his country supporting by document that duly signed by him.
Right.
It bothers me how Monzu within 2 months, 3 months could get that support from Mr. Villa. And it bothers me also because I am a diplomat and I worked with the United Nations. All the time I was working, I was going there twice a year.
Okay.
So, and I know that there are some people who would want a job and they will work for it for more than 6 months. How could he come on a mission of that nature and get a job representing the United Nations in Ivory Coast within 2 months? To say it's a very interesting thing.
Are you suggesting that he must have connived with the regime to get that job, and that as a result of that, he changed his opinion on the struggle?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm allowing you to reason. If you see a situation like that, what is the right conclusion? What will be the right conclusion? Does anybody need to tell a journalist, a seasoned journalist like you, the funny way the situation looks? Does anybody? When Monzu in 2000 wanted a plot in Victoria and went to the senior DO, the senior DO said, no, you can't come to me to serve you because you are fighting to break away. He said, no. That's in 2000. He was still working with the United Nations.
Okay.
He said he is not an extremist. He baptized the rest of us still working for the cause as extremists.
Right.
You know, what does that suggest to you? And there are very many things like that. What do they suggest to you? You're here in the United States. You're watching and seeing the way they follow things very strictly to be able to make sure that the people they put in office are the right people. No, the fact that somebody starts a game does not mean that he ends the game. That's why the referee and the coach have a right to put somebody out of the field. But the situation is, when you say when people get old or so, the world doesn't look at that. Nelson Mandela was in the ocean for 27 years. His people knew that the logic of everything is to continue. He wasn't there working with them, and then they went and they wanted the leader. They said Nelson Mandela. Desmond Tutu said Nelson Mandela. Everybody Nelson Mandela. They brought him. He started the way he killed apartheid for once, and then left the scene. No, we don't want that. Fomini is too old because yesterday he was broadcasting. Today he's old. He spent some time, therefore must be old. He can't do anything.
Are you suggesting that or saying that Ambassador Fossung is still available to play a very vital role, a leadership role in this struggle?
Ambassador Fossung has been playing the role ever since, which all means he has.
Many people don't hear from you in this.
No, the problem here, Chris, is that I have never liked, if you know me, and people know me to be that, I've never liked gallery show. I go and stand and say, okay, today I am going to United Nations. I will see the chief this, I will see that one there. I don't do that. That is not what we diplomats do. And that's why people see diplomats and say, look, these men are always in suits. What do they do at all for the nation? They see things coming. They don't really know where they come from. That is the best way of working. Okay? If I can give you one poor way of using the gallery show to fight a cause like this. Look at the time we had multi-party.
Yes.
The parties that made the greatest noise on roofs of houses, you see, they achieved zero, absolutely zero. Smaller parties that were quiet, they achieved something. That's the way it is worked. It is not shouting from the rooftop, oh yes, I am this, and then in the evening you change from one thing to the other and so on and so forth. We don't operate like that. I particularly don't operate like that.
So when last were you at the United Nations?
I go to United Nations when I will. It is not physical going there. You can write to them. All right. And they are in correspondence with me. I am in correspondence with them. That's what is important.
And what is your take with the direction you think they are going as far as this struggle is concerned?
I did just explain from your first question when I answered it. I tell you that the United Nations is watching us. If today you come in and tell a story which is different from what was told yesterday, they will be very reluctant to act because they know that you are not matured for this type of situation you are trying to create. So that's United Nations.
Now look at the current situation we're having at hand. The regime says we are not negotiating federation, and the people say we want federation or we want independence. What would you do in this situation? Would you entertain any dialogue or go the way that the majority are saying we want total independence? I mean, what would the route that you take to resolve this?
If you knew me, you would have said that's been my view, that we cannot have, and I said it a while ago, we cannot have our interests and well-being protected by a country that we do not have a Unions Act. They have frustrated any meaningful constitution in Cameroon because they want to treat us only as slaves. And anybody thinking about dialogue with La Republique is wasting his time. That's what I said, that a slave master cannot allow the slave to go free unless something different happens. By this, I'm not surging a war because that's what they're waiting for, to be able to kill our armless people on grounds that we started a war. There is a way. The way is diplomatic. The way is if all of us work together. The way is that nepotism should be thrown out of the window as well as tribalism, and we should be able to identify blacklegs and opportunists who don't have anything to contribute. If we don't do that, we keep thinking only of our brothers and sisters rather than those who can deliver and what has been done. We don't capitalize on that. We're wasting our time. We're wasting our time.
So there are those who are suggesting strongly for a referendum as the only way to move on. What do you think about that?
We tried a referendum. In 1999, Mr. Biya was confronted by journalists, international journalists, when he went to Germany, and he said in Europe that, when interviewed, that he would use a referendum to resolve the certain Cameroon problem. They know that they cannot because they will get 100% people wanting to leave them.
Right.
And that's why they are not interested in going that way. And what you have to remember is that La République does not know that when a head of state or a minister speaks that involves his country, he does not know that. He thinks he was in Cameroon, he said anything, nobody bothered about it, and is comfortable to move from one proposal to the next, not seeing the engagement he has made. So we need to remember that you cannot move from a small thing and then go to the heart of a problem which you don't know, and make a lot of noises. Oh yes, Chris Romney is the man. He is. We hear his voice. Hearing his voice, my dear, is not a solution.
Right.
It's not a solution. The solution is that the people of Southern Cameroon should be left alone to make their own government. I have the authority and legitimacy.
Yes.
I could have put in place a government. I'm the only one with such authority and legitimacy. If anybody questions that, he should produce his own proofs of that, which are better than what I have. So when you go behind and say, oh yes, he's old, we don't need even to see him and so on, you are creating a problem which very soon you will not solve yourself.
Let me ask you a little hypothetical question here. Mr. Biya is very old right now, and his health, as reported, appears to be failing him often. Now, we have a situation in Cameroon where you have the Nordics, the Bamalikis, the Ewandos and Betis, and then you have the Anglophones. If we were to have a sudden vacancy in the country now, what do you think Anglophones should do? Sit down at a national conference and discuss the state of the nation, or say bye-bye to you Francophones, we are going our way?
First of all, let me correct one thing. I do not believe in calling us Anglophones. I have always stated before I brought the name Southern Cameroon National Council to be the working tool for our people. AAC means nothing. Means nothing. The people who have been free cannot claim to fight for that freedom which is seized by adopting a very different name, Anglophone. I don't understand what that means. But having corrected that, and let me answer your question. You can come to it. Let me answer your question.
Okay.
If opportunity offers itself, and that opportunity is for Mr. Biya to ever think that he can be unable to manage a difficult country at the time he is feeble, if that, for me, it will be an opportunity to tell the rest of La République that, well, we have to go our way. You know our intentions. We have made this intention clear from the very, very first time that we met and we saw what was happening. We were the first to say we wanted to return to ourselves before Gambia. Before Gambia, that time United Nations, it is not that United Nations hated us. At that time they thought the best way to manage the world would be bigger countries rather than smaller countries. Today United Nations is very different, and that's what I'm telling them. You have Monaco as a country in the United Nations. It has only 16 families. They are United Nations is about 194 or little more. And majority of this as countries smaller in population than Southern Cameroon. So nobody can tell us anymore that we are small, we should join with another country. And let me tell you something which nobody has ever mentioned, Chris.
Okay.
You see, Fernando Po, next to us, Malabo, was to join us. They were to go into a referendum to decide to join us or Nigeria in the 60s. At the time we were to join La République.
That was Equatorial Guinea, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And when I was then the deputy head of protocol in Cameroon, and their president visited us and saw the way they came observing, they saw the way the so-called Anglophones, if I have to use your terminology, Southern Cameroon was being treated.
Yeah.
And they went back, and when they called them, they said never. They told their mother country never they can join Cameroon. Okay.
And what year was that? Was that before 1961 or after 61?
That was after 61.
Okay.
It was in 70. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You see, and they were wise. They observed. They acted as one man. They did not do what some of us did. Go behind to blackmail, take money. And then the journalists will not call it, because if it happened to be your countryman or your brother or something, you don't need to say that it's a black leg, he's taking money. We can succeed like that. We have to be sincere. Right. And that is why I'm looking for uncompromising certain Cameroonians. If we are only about a few of us and determined, we will get the country for the people. We'll get the country for the people.
What would you say to Southern Cameroonians in their homeland who are being subjected to this both physical and psychological torture, arrest by La République du Cameroon, and everything has been brought to a standstill? What will be your words as a leader to them?
Yes, some of them who observe, and some of them who even were with us from the beginning, and those who are still with me, know that I escaped after 20 attempts by La République's government on my life to the United States. And I thank the United States government for accepting me, and the people for putting me amongst them for these past 12 years. And they continue to look for ways to finish me, even abroad. So what I can tell them is that there's no way you can start a serious struggle like this, and when you gain a little ground, you give it back on deceit. That is a dialogue. You know, you can never, La République can never tell you a thing and keep it. For 56 years, if there are certain Cameroonians who don't know that, you cannot have confidence in what they tell you from La République, because they say one thing today and say the next thing the following day, and they are comfortable with it. It seems it's a way of life for them. And you pretend as if you don't know it. My advice to my people, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity, is that now that we have started and the school year has been lost, there is no compromise. It will be better than war. for us to resist to the end. Yes, our children may not go to school now, but they will have a golden future. They will, like every other people in the world, determine their future for themselves. They will benefit from the endowment by their nature. They will benefit from just a peace of mind to sit down and conceive and do what they want for themselves.
Right.
My advice is no turning back. And may I seize the opportunity to tell the bishops who took a wonderful lead, and I praised them before. Nothing should convince anybody to say that, okay, we have demonstrated, they have seen us. In fact, that is the way Ahijo dealt with Foncha and his people. Because we will think that in the way we were brought up, yes, they have seen, we have complained, they understand our complaint.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They don't. They don't. And therefore, don't bother to hear from them. Continue with what you're doing. If it goes down, if it is whatever, let us all follow it. But it should not be a ghost town or boycott of trade in the way we did in the multi-party days when party leaders themselves caused others to cut their electricity, water, and they said nobody should drink French wine, and they were drinking in their houses. Leaders who should be leading. Leaders who should be leading. And nobody bothered. And then we saw them.
Huh? The perspective on the ghost towns today.
What?
What would be your advice as far as ghost towns are concerned in this current struggle?
Yes, the ghost town, boycott of trade, these are tools, we call them civic weapons that can give the international community what we mean.
Okay.
When you start by neglecting yourself, what you should have eaten or taken as a drink, the world will know that, yes, if he can forgo, he can sacrifice himself, he means business. There's something wrong.
All right. And what advice would you give to the current crop of leaders who are trying to push this struggle forward?
I think they are doing something. They are drawing the international attention. But the way they are going, I continue to think that if they can reflect, I know that we are big in oneness. We are strong in oneness. We are thoughtful in oneness. We might do something from there.
Has any of the leaders consulted with you?
I don't know what you mean by the leaders.
I mean, we have Skakuf, for example. We also have the newly formed interim governing council, and you have various organizations like the AGC, the ACYL, Maurice. Has any of their leaders reached out to you?
Well, my people talk to Skakuf. There are some which do not merit us talking to them at all. You see, we must understand it is the formation of anything is the easiest thing to do. But to use that thing to get what you have given the impression is a different thing. It's a different thing. All those names simply shows that people are only being opportunistic. Let me start my own, so that tomorrow, when the tomorrow may not come if you don't work for it.
Right. Well, Ambassador, it's good to hear your voice again for after a while. I will be coming back to you occasionally in the course of this struggle to get your points and your advice for the leaders of the struggle.
Chris, I thank you as always. My last word to you and to our people is that we should use wisdom. We should go as one. We should not think that all the elders spent their lives, they chased them. Look at Chris. Chris, let me say this.
Okay.
If somebody calls himself a leader for certain Cameroons, and he knows that Fossung is being chased, and La République has said that if I try to land in Cameroon by air, they should shoot. By sea, they should shoot. By land, they should shoot. Why should other people who are claiming all sorts of position come in and out of Cameroon at will? Has it struck you as a journalist to wonder how that the Republic should change to come?
So who are you actually referring to? Maybe that will
No, I give you food for thought.
Okay.
I'm giving you food for thought. I don't believe in the politics of polemics, so that somebody, did you hear what Ambassador Fossung said about you? I think I have a lot to do than go into polemics.
Right.
You see, but if you see your people, you know your people, you know that there are some of them coming out and being leaders, and then in the evening they return to La République and do what they want. And should that not bother you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Goodbye and thank you.
Well, thanks for the time. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you again some other time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.